If you ever find yourself in Mumbai, that electric, unrelenting city pulsing with color, chaos, and dreams, there's a moment that sneaks up on you. It doesn't come from a monument or a map. It arrives in the air, carried by the scent of frying oil, spicy chutney, and something mysteriously comforting. It's the smell of a sandwich, but not just any sandwich. This is the Vada Pav, golden, spicy, explosive, wrapped in wax, paper, and handed to you with barely a glance. No ceremony, no silverware, just a bite that hits you like a memory you've never had. In a city of over 20 million people, this little snack manages to unite everyone, from tired office workers to bustling college students to rickshaw drivers, business tycoons, street poets, and Bollywood dreamers. And for just 25 rupees, less than a few cents, you don't just get a sandwich, you get a ritual, a tradition, a cultural landmark held together by nothing more than spiced mashed potatoes, deep-fried batter, and a soft bun. But what makes this humble food item worthy of being called the #1 street food of Mumbai? How did it come to define a city that never sleeps? Is it the way the textures collide? The way the chutneys paint your tongue in color? Or is it the crowd, the heat, the shared experience of standing shoulder to shoulder with strangers, waiting for that one bite? Today, we're diving into the world of the Vada Pav. We'll enter the fire-lit kitchens where it's made. We'll watch the masters at work. We'll hear the sizzle, smell the spice, and trace the origins of a snack that's now a symbol. This isn't just food. This is Mumbai in one bite. Mumbai moves fast. It blurs past you in flashes of traffic, colors, sound. But somewhere within that blur, there's a moment of stillness, when someone steps off a curb, joins a short line, and receives something small and perfect in a square of wax paper. That moment is for a Vada Pav. It might be the middle of a crowded weekday, or deep into a humid monsoon evening. It doesn't matter. The Vada Pav is always there, ready to interrupt hunger with flavor. Always familiar, always welcome. Like New York has its slices, like Paris has its baguettes, Mumbai has its Vada Pav, a city's culinary shorthand. But here's the difference. This isn't just a street snack. It's a symbol. Its identity made edible. Ask any Mumbai car, and they'll point you to their favorite stall. Some swear by the Vada Pav outside Churchgate Station. Others claim it's the tiny cart tucked into the alleys of Antiri West. But one name comes up again and again. Aram Vada Pav, a tiny shop directly across from the historic Chhatrapati Shivaji terminus. At Aram, the sandwich is more than a meal, it's a performance. To find the heart of Aram, you step behind the glass, into the kitchen. It's not what you'd expect. There are no gleaming countertops, no industrial freezers. Just a tight, 100-square-foot room that feels more like a pressure cooker than a workplace. But here, in this humble square of space, magic is made 1,000 times a day. At the center is Chef Chetan, quiet, focused, fluid. He doesn't speak much. He doesn't need to. His hands do the talking. The process starts with the potatoes, boiled until soft, then mashed and seasoned with a sacred blend of spices. Black mustard seeds that pop in oil, green chilies for heat, fresh curry leaves that perfume the air, ginger for warmth, hing, that pungent asafoetida resin for depth. Each ingredient is simple on its own. Together, they create something far greater. The mix is hand-rolled into balls, firm but forgiving. Then comes the batter, made with chickpea flour, turmeric, salt, and a whisper more hing. The consistency is crucial. Too thick and the vada becomes a sponge. Too thin and the batter won't cling. Chetan's batter? Perfect. Always. Now begins the ritual. Vadas are dipped, one by one, into the batter and lowered into bubbling oil. Not tossed, lowered, gently, precisely. It's an act of faith and finesse. They float and turn golden, rising like sunlit balloons. Steam escapes. Edges crisp. Texture transforms. The kitchen hums. Orders are called. The line moves. But Chetan remains still, grounded in the rhythm he's practiced for years. 55 vadas every 3 minutes. 1,000 an hour. Day in, day out. And as he works, the air fills with scent. Turmeric, chilies, garlic, gram flour, heat. The scent of lunch, of memory, of Mumbai. Every masterpiece has a signature. And in the case of the Vada Pav, it's a whisper, not shouted, but deeply felt. Crunch. As the vadas fry, tiny trails of batter break away. These flecks, golden, uneven, glistening, drift down into the oil and crisp up on contact. Most kitchens would throw them away, not here. These crispy bits are lovingly scooped up, drained, and saved. They're called shura or bundi, and they're the unsung heroes of texture. Sprinkled onto the sandwich, they add a crackling contrast to the soft pav and pillowy potato. They're what make the first bite a surprise, and the second an obsession. It's a detail you wouldn't think to ask for, but after you've had it once, you'll always ask for extra. It's these layers, soft, spicy, crisp, that elevate the Vada Pav from snack to sensation. And it's in that crunch, nestled in the folds of bread and batter, that the Vada Pav earns its place in memory. If the vada is the soul of the sandwich, then the chutneys are its electricity. 3 types, 3 stories, 1 unforgettable combination. First, the green chutney, a bright, herbaceous blast of coriander, mint, green chilies, and lemon. It cools and tingles, opening the senses. Second, the tamarind chutney, dark and thick, made from boiled tamarind pulp and jaggery. It's sweet, it's sour, it's grounding. And then, the final punch, the dry garlic chutney, made from dried coconut, roasted peanuts, red chilies, and fried garlic, ground into a sandy firestorm. It doesn't just sit on the tongue. It grabs. It smokes it. Wakes it up. Each vendor guards their chutney recipe with quiet pride. Some add more sugar, some more salt. But together, in harmony, they create the signature taste that keeps people coming back. This isn't a one-note snack. It's a flavor bomb, detonated with every bite. Step behind the stall, and you'll see something extraordinary. Not in size or scale, but in rhythm. Behind a small window at Aram Vada Pav, the unsung heroes of flavor perform a ballet, with no spotlight, no applause, no intermission. It begins the moment the golden Vedas are fished out of boiling oil, steam rising from their crisped edges. They're placed gently into a metal bucket, where they rest only for seconds before being whisked away to the assembly stations. Here, the choreography unfolds. A pav bun is grabbed with one hand, soft, warm, pliable. It's split open with precision, never torn. A dollop of bright green chutney, fresh and punchy with coriander and mint, is smeared on the underside of the top bun. Next, the dry garlic chutney is sprinkled onto the bottom. Grainy, brick red, fiercely aromatic. It clings to the soft bread, a fiery dusting of crushed garlic, dried chilies, and ground peanuts. Then, from a bottle, a line of tamarind chutney is squeezed onto the base. Sweet, sour, earthy. And then, the vada, still hot, still crackling from the fryer. It's dropped into the bun with a kind of reverence. Finally, a long, blistered green chili, deep fried and unapologetic, is laid on top like a badge of courage. The sandwich is folded shut, wrapped in wax paper in a single swoop, and handed to the next customer in line. The entire process takes less than 10 seconds, but that 10 seconds is everything. An accumulation of training, timing, and trust. Each assembler works in near silence. No shouting, no chaos. Just a fluid stream of buns and vadas and chutney bottles. They know each other's rhythm like musicians in a jazz band. A glance, a nod, a shared tempo. To an outsider, it's mesmerizing. To a Mumbai car, it's daily life. And somehow, despite the speed, despite the volume, every sandwich comes out just right. Nothing overdone, nothing missed. It's not fast food. It's precision food, handmade, street-born, fiercely efficient, and always, always delicious. Outside the stall, there's no signboard, no velvet ropes. Just a crowd, shifting, swelling, reforming like waves on a shore. There's no wrong time to eat a Vada Pav. That's the thing. Morning, noon, dusk, midnight. The crowd is always there. It's a pulse that never flatlines. On a slow afternoon, you'll see a dozen people gathered. Some chat idly. Some scroll through phones. Others simply wait, eyes fixed on the window, lips curled into the faintest smile, anticipating the moment their number is called. But come evening, that's when things change. As the city winds down from its 12-hour hustle, the footpath outside Aram transforms. White-collar workers spill out of high-rises. Students pour out of libraries. Drivers pause their routes. Vendors from nearby stalls slip away for a 5-minute snack. The queue spills into the road. Horns honk. Bikes maneuver around standing. Bodies. No one complains. Because this isn't waiting for food. This is standing in line for a piece of home. And there's no judgment here. You'll see men in silk shirts next to men in dirt-caked uniforms. A schoolgirl chewing silently next to a sari-clad grandmother. A tourist hesitating, unsure, before stepping forward and placing their first order. Everyone is equal in the Vada Pav line. And in that moment, with a hot sandwich in hand, there's a kind of silence that falls over the street. Not from lack of sound, the honks and vendors and footsteps remain, but from shared focus. Because the moment you take that first bite, the world fades away, and you're left with heat, spice, crunch, and something else. Something comforting. Something real. Every great dish carries a story. And the story of the Vada Pav begins not in a kitchen, but in history. It's the 1860s. Across the ocean, the American Civil War has choked cotton exports. Mills in England fall silent. And suddenly, Bombay, then just a growing port city under British rule, finds itself on the global stage. Cotton begins flowing through its docks like never before. Textile mills boom. Laborers flood the city by the thousands. Bombay transforms overnight into a machine of industry. But machines need fuel, and so do workers. They worked long hours, short breaks. They needed something hot, cheap, portable, filling. And so, an idea was born, or rather evolved. From the Portuguese, Bombay had already inherited the pav, a soft, white roll baked in local ovens. A remnant of colonial influence, now fully naturalized. Local hawkers began stuffing these rolls with everything from fried vegetables to curried meats. But it was the spiced mashed potato, rolled into a ball, coated in chickpea batter, and fried golden, that hit the sweet spot. Cheap, fast, vegetarian, delicious. Soon, it wasn't just sustenance. It was symbolism. By the 1960s and 70s, during political upheavals and workers' movements, the Vada Pav became more than a snack. It became a badge of pride, of local identity. Today, it's both past and present. A recipe born of necessity, carried forward by nostalgia, perfected by repetition. Each bite carries not just spice, but story. The Vada Pav is the food of laborers and legends alike. And that's what makes it immortal. Asterisk, take a moment. Imagine holding it. The warmth seeps through the wax paper, comforting your fingers. The bun is soft, almost too soft, threatening to tear. But you hold it firm. The first bite is like pressing play on a favorite song. Crunch, then spice. Then the soft, comforting yield of mashed potato. But wait, now comes the green chutney. Herbaceous, sharp, bright. And then the red chutney. Earthy, garlicky, fiery. Then the tamarind. Sweet, sticky, unexpectedly mellow. And then the chili. That long, slender, blistered demon on top. You hesitate. Do you bite it? You do. And suddenly, boom. Heat, but not painful. Inviting. Like FIRELIG. It's not just one flavor. It's dozens, all overlapping, all in harmony. The bread calms. The chutneys excite. The vada satisfies. Each bite pushes you to the next. You wipe your lips. You lick your fingers. And for a moment, you close your eyes. This isn't just eating. This is remembering something you've never forgotten. This is being part of something older than you and bigger than you. This is what people mean when they say crave-worthy. Not because you're still hungry, but because your soul wants one more bite. If you ever need proof that food can unite, come to a Vada Pav stall during rush hour. There's no velvet rope, no VIP line, no app-based pre-order. Here, the rich stand beside the poor, the young beside the old, the suited beside the sweating. In this line, there are no filters, no algorithms, just hunger. The sandwich doesn't care who you are. Whether you came in a Mercedes or on foot, you'll be handed the exact same Vada Pav. Hot, spicy, glorious. And for that one bite, status melts away. Hierarchies dissolve. On one sidewalk, India gathers. Not in protest, not in prayer, but in pleasure. Here, food is more than survival. It's identity. It's celebration. It's Mumbai. Every hand that holds a Vada Pav holds a story. And those stories, together, become the story of a city that never stops, but always pauses for a bite. If you ever visit Mumbai, eat the Vada Pav, not at a restaurant, not at the airport, but from a cart, from a stall, from a man with oil on his apron, and a smile in his eyes. Stand on the street, take a breath, unwrap the wax paper, and take that first glorious bite. Because in that moment, you're not just tasting potato and chutney and bread. You're tasting Bombay. You're tasting history. You're tasting home. This isn't just a sandwich. This is the soul of a city between two halves of a bun. A love letter to Mumbai, one vada at a time.